The whole process of training a guide dog starts at a very young age, at just 7 weeks old, when they go to a puppy walker who looks after the puppy for approximately 14 months. Depends on the dog. Dogs are very much like children. They learn sometimes quicker than others. But it's not a case of when you're a puppy walker, well, here's your puppy, we'll see you in 14 months. Each puppy walker has a team of people that can help them, and the main person is the puppy supervisor, who will come along and help that person train the puppy. Some of the main things we have to teach them is to toilet in the garden. Now, all of our puppy walkers will have a designated area which is gravel or concrete, and it's usually fenced off, because anybody that has got dogs will know that as soon as you take the dog outside, it's going to run right around the garden. So we usually have a fenced off area, and we get the dogs to go on command. Now, the word we use, it doesn't matter what word you use with a command for a dog, as long as it's consistent and the same word for that particular thing you want them to do. She's 9 years old, so she's a retired guide dog, so she will hold it, won't you? A couple of you came up and said hello to Delta, and I asked you not to, because she's what's called in a working mode at the moment. If I take her lead off and her jacket, she's just a pet dog. And that same thing applies to a working guide dog. If you see one in the street or in a cafe or anywhere, please don't distract them. They are working, but once their harness is off, their lead's off, they're just like any other dog. We have to introduce them into all sorts of different things, so we'll take them on the bus, on the train, up and down stairs, in lifts, noises in particular. In the high street there are lots of noises that we come across. A car backfiring, a horn going, fire engine, sirens going from the police, people shouting, a drill of roadworks, everything like that. These dogs have got to get used to, because they need to be able to respond appropriately. We can't have a dog jumping all over the place because it's heard a sudden noise. Anybody that meets the criteria can adopt any of our dogs, whether it be a puppy that's been withdrawn, or whether it's a guide dog like Delta, who was retired very early at 3½, or whether it's a fully retired guide dog at the end of their working life. 75% of the 1,600 puppies do go on to become guide dogs. It is not enough though, because there are 350,000 registered blind people in the country. 180,000 of those do not go out of the door because they don't have the confidence to do it. They don't have somebody that can take them out, or they don't want to have somebody. We all like our independence. Guide dogs, as a working guide dog, give you that independence, and that's our aim, is to be able to give independence to people who are blind or visually impaired.
Well, I'll just start by saying thank you, because, well, I see the blankets here now, and if you could see what happened when I was back in Zimbabwe in January, you'd be so thrilled. There's a few pictures here, we've got a video as well of the pictures there, but you can see your blankets. They've arrived there. They travelled from, I don't know, Heathrow. They went to Nairobi, where they went from Nairobi down to Harare and arrived a week before I arrived after Christmas, picked up and taken to Bulawayo. And Bulawayo, as I've said before, is an area that's forgotten. I think now, they started with 10 children, now they're up to 70. And not only did we take blankets for the beds there, but we also took baby clothes. And he has this lovely lounge, which is not much smaller than this room. And when I went there, you had a job to get in it, because there was stuff everywhere. And it took hours sorting it out. This year I've had a change of heart. I'm doing plastic boxes with everything marked before it goes. But this shipment had over 2 tons of stuff, one of the biggest we've ever done. All these little babies, little children there, many of them disabled, that the parents have died through AIDS, many of them have got nothing at all. And when we took these clothes in, the blankets, the people were in tears. But it was just beautiful to see the children. They danced with joy, and those in charge. So that was the start of my trip to Zimbabwe, which was a great start. Coming back then to the hospital, and one of the things that your money helped greatly towards, this year's been the most expensive one, they were without water in the hospital. They had a machine I put in, I think probably 12, 13 years ago, I've lost count of the time, and they were getting somewhere in the region of 35 litres of water a day to supply up to 200 people. We gave dolls out, we had some dollies there. They'd never had dolls, some of the children. They don't get toys. And it was just so beautiful to give them that. So apart from LV Insurance giving us all the stuff the school needed for writing and everything, we took boxes of sweets there, and Lil had the opportunity to go around the classrooms giving it out to the children. But for people that do give sweets, there's a lesson to learn, isn't there? These weren't wrap sweets, were they? And so they got sticky. So if anybody gives sweets, they need wrappings on. We've learned that one this time. There's a little girl with her dolly. And to see her going around with it on her back, as the babies do, it's a wonderful thing. Every ward is beginning to get these blankets. We need another 500 for that hospital, I'm told. But then there are 22 other hospitals as well. So, but it is so lovely. And God bless you all for what you've done.